MrBeast, the largest channel on YouTube that has worked tirelessly, diligently to cultivate an audience of extremely young people, intentionally, and has decided it's a good idea to hire someone who is a convicted PDF file enjoyer. And everyone knew, including Jimmy.
I'm me, Mudahar, and today I want to, again, talk about MrBeast. Because it's one of those situations that just keeps evolving to the point where, what comes out the next day is infinitely more wilder than what came out a day ago. Now, for anybody that needs a refresher on the situation, MrBeast and his company...
I like how he has this opened right here just to seem smarter, probably. Because the reality is, if you're gonna do something, you're probably gonna remove all the previous stuff that you were doing on your computer. So there's no reason to have this open unless it's a set piece.
It was basically thrown into the wildfire of the internet because one large YouTuber at this point, almost 500,000 subscribers now, Dogpack404, uploaded a video where he exposed the MrBeast company and went to town basically covering some of their wilder practices, right? Alleged practices, like illegal lotteries, for instance. And the fact that NDAs were being used to silence people from talking about situations that NDAs wouldn't even be applicable for, such as alleged crimes.
Okay, I absolutely love this. Mudahar, Asmongold, the Actman, Ludwig, all of these absolute spineless worm individuals who cannot help themselves to obviously talk about the MrBeast situation, otherwise people are gonna just call them out as spineless cowards, which they, by the way, still 100% are without question. We have watched many of these videos, and this one's no different. Okay, listen, this one is absolutely no different. The way he talks about this situation, oh, it's just alleged crimes, it's just one guy making a video and exposing MrBeast. They are all as one absolute cowards. They are afraid to say MrBeast did anything wrong. Here is just another classic situation where Mudahar is not at any point gonna actually talk about MrBeast being a bad person. He's probably just gonna say, well, the situation is bad because the situation is bad, and that's gonna be probably the absolute depth of the conversation we're gonna have. All of these people are absolutely spineless cowards. And again, just to point out the Dr. Disrespect comparison, Dr. Disrespect was alleged of far less, he did far less, and there was far less evidence against him. And yet these same people who are currently quivering in their pathetic boots, afraid to say anything bad about MrBeast, they instantaneously just put out Dr. Disrespect to hang. By the way, I put him out to hang way before because those allegations just kind of hit everything perfectly. So, yeah, it didn't seem random at all. But in any case, MrBeast has so much more alleged against him. There's so much more evidence that what people are saying currently is true. There's so many more bad things about this whole conversation. And all of these people are like, I'm gonna refrain from saying MrBeast is a bad person. Cowards and cowards.
Now, Dogpack404 came out with a second video on the whole situation where he premiered it and he showcased for a large part an interview with an individual known as Jake Weddle. Jake Weddle would discuss effectively one of his experiences in the MrBeast productions. I'm not joking, seriously bad production standards, okay? Like situations where
calling these seriously bad production standards is minimizing it so hard. You might as well say he's just running defense for MrBeast from that one sentence. Pathetic.
He felt that he wasn't safe on set. He felt that there were
he wasn't safe on set.
Precautions being properly
felt that the precautions were... Bruh, what do you mean he felt? He literally experienced it. Well, what do you mean he felt? Again, this is all just running defense for MrBeast. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, they're so afraid.
Met, and in some cases, he feels traumatized from that experience of MrBeast for a paycheck that probably isn't worth the trauma. Now, towards the tail end of this video is a very, very serious situation that completely moves this whole MrBeast stuff to the next level. Now, while this Dogpack 404 stuff was going on, obviously last week, 2 weeks ago, we even saw Chris Tyson, one of the big key members at MrBeast at one point, who basically was exposed, through chat logs, alleged chat logs, and their behavior to be creepy.
But by the way, I love the contextualization of everything that's happening. MrBeast's best friend and roommate is exposed as a bad person, but let's keep MrBeast out of this, okay? Being his best friend, none of that matters. MrBeast's whole production thing gets exposed as pretty goddamn Geneva Convention breaking shit. Well, none of that matters. That's just the company that MrBeast owns. MrBeast's not a bad guy. It's just the company. How many things need to happen? How many things MrBeast needs to be involved in until we can call a spade a spade? How many things need to happen until we can just say that, yeah, MrBeast is involved in this? How long until these people grow a spine?
Allegedly towards minors, okay? Now, obviously, this is a situation where you start to look at...
Allegedly! He knows this is proven! He knows this is proven! Allegedly, Mudahar.
This person, you start to see that they're a huge fan of a lolicon artist known as Shadman, and they would have art of this person.
No, Mudahar, you need to say, oh, he's allegedly a fan. The poster doesn't mean anything. The tweets don't mean it. He's just allegedly a fan.
Allegedly up on their walls, and...
Allegedly up on their walls. I can literally Google that shit and find a picture.
It was just a whole situation where, MrBeast, Jimmy, actually ended up severing ties with Ava Tyson. But of course...
Yeah, because he obviously had no idea about anything. Oh, cowards.
That was just one part of the MrBeast thing. Jimmy, who is the face of the entire MrBeast organization, is now, unfortunately, put into some of the most insane limelight.
Yeah, unfortunately, people are not buying the fact that he didn't know. Oh, how unfortunate, Mudahar.
That you can imagine. One where I really don't think there is any good answer out of it. So towards the tail end of this MrBeast situation, Jake here actually exposes that there was one employee at the MrBeast headquarters that apparently had a very serious conviction on record, and apparently was still employed at the company, even though they apparently full well knew of...
Apparently. He's saying that like it's magical.
This person's serious conviction. Listen to this.
Someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on...
Wait. So he takes this clip out of context and starts it off with being an alleged, being on that list is just, oh, he just peed in public. Wow, this is the most disingenuous way to portray this clip ever.
That's one thing. You go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. If you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people.
So that's a very, very, very serious allegation. And obviously something like this...
How is this an allegation? Actually, shouldn't we be just able to test this?
...would require some actual serious proof in the situation. So obviously, putting the old detective hat on, one of the people who was basically going up against Jimmy, Jake the Viking here, actually had a lot to say about this story. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he is a RSO. Registered offender, by the way. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA. When she was 11, Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there's no jail time, but he still had to register. His nickname isn't Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times.
Okay, listen, no. I am Delaware's real brother. And it actually was a 3,000-year vampire, and it completely... Investigation hat, you say? How about the dunce hat?
He was hired before I was, and was actually the reason I got hired at MrBeast. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yeah, Jimmy knew. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017 and 2018.
No one cares about the time lapse. So, what? A guy goes to MrBeast and says, "Oh yeah, I'm on that list. What happened? Well, you see, I was actually completely innocent, and it's all bullshit." Ta-da! And Jimmy's like, "Yeah, seems okay. Yeah. And Jimmy's mom's like, "Yeah, seems okay." Is this supposed to make it better? Is this supposed to convince me? Hey, yeah, the guy who under heat currently is saying that nothing bad happened. Sure.
Delaware was also let go from the company before I was. Delaware was supposed to be a behind-the-scenes manager, but in a couple videos, he was asked to participate because we needed people. He was reluctant, especially in the straitjacket video, because of his charges, and that's why he wore the mask. Delaware's charges are set to be dropped this fall. Now, it's interesting when people say charges are dropped. I think the proper term would probably be expunged.
Yeah, expunged.
I don't think charges...
Bro, charges cannot be dropped. That doesn't work like that. And expunged doesn't mean that you were innocent. Expunged means expunged. There's many ways that can happen.
Ever really get dropped like this, especially when you got like a conviction that you've pled to. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, an amazing husband to my sister, and the best father to my two nieces that I could ever ask for. They want no part in this and just want to live their lives away from the limelight. I understand why anyone would be upset and frustrated over these allegations, and I do not blame them. So I'm going to stop the Cope Olympics over here and show you exactly what people had found and dug up when this whole situation came to light. Based on Dogpack's videos, it took people literally minutes to find the actual offender registry on this person. Now, the video that people are referring to with the whole mask and everything was this: I spent 24 hours straight.
No one cares, Mudahart. Give us the actual details.
In an insane asylum. So, this is a video that's still actually uploaded and still viewable. And you can see in this photo that this masked individual in the first 5 seconds of the video is the one that people decided to focus on. So within 5 minutes, people had looked into the offender registry and started to find this individual. So if you look at the masked individual and you look at this mugshot.
Yeah, kind of definitely looks like that. Yeah, kind of looks like that, true. Doesn't mean it's accurate, though. That needs to be taken into account. But yeah, if you ask me if this is the same person, not 100%, but definitely looks like it, yeah.
Over here, there is some belief that, yes, this is the same person, okay? Allegedly. Now, of course, if you read through the offender registry in this situation, what has been pled to is actually quite disgusting. So right here, you can see that the description is a...
By the way, this is also a thing. This is why I said at the start of the video that you can check all of this. If you are a registered SA offender, you by law are forced to actually go to the neighborhood that you are living in, X miles or whatever, and knock on every door and say, "Hey, yeah, I am an SA offender," and that's something that I think every state in America requires you to do. And obviously, this registry is public, so the idea that Jimmy just took his word for it and didn't say, "Oh yeah, we corroborated what this guy was saying, no problems at all," is fucking ridiculous. Taking his word for this, like taking his brother's word.
Registered as a result of out-of-state conviction. The conviction was the R word, 4th degree, by the way, with a victim less than 18. The victim's age was 11 and the offender's age was 16. Now, people will say that, oh, but...
Wait, that's already that means this guy is already lying if this is the right guy because he said, "Oh, he was 20, blah blah blah." Wait, no, actually, that can't actually work out if it was later.
They were minors, both of them. In fact, this one guy says,
Hey, listen, the hard R doesn't care about that. Damn.
hey, the guy was also a minor when the crime was said to have occurred. Doesn't justify his actions, but
Yeah,
leaving out
obviously.
context is shitty. Yeah, it doesn't justify actions. Here's an extra pair of context there.
If this was anyone else, Mudahar would. Because Mudahar is actually. Like, Mudahar is still a fucking brick. But he is smart enough to understand and knows that, hey, Jimmy just taking a words of a felon at face value and not checking it should never have happened. But he's never gonna obviously mention that here. Well, if he does, I will be honestly surprised. But again, saying this with confidence, there's no way Mudahar actually mentions that.
16 is when you're in high school. 11 is when you're in elementary, motherfucker. There's your context right there. You know, it's weird if you kind of think about it back in high school. If any one of my peers was going over to the elementary school for something strange, yeah, that person would be looked at very unfavorably by the elementary school, very unfavorably by us.
By
It was a
everyone,
taboo
yeah,
back then, and it's a
exactly.
taboo very much now. So yeah, that's
That's not what a taboo is, but okay. A taboo is something that someone shouldn't do, but you can do.
the kind of context I wish people would kind of add to these situations. See,
And hard-daring someone is definitely, and I'm not talking about the N hard-dar, okay? Okay, let's just call it the big R for easiness. The big R is not a taboo. The big R is just illegal.
not everything is as binary black and white evil. You have to look at these things with all of this, extra context that human beings develop as they age. So what's funny about this Jake character right here is Jake Franklin was basically on Jimmy's ass. I probably have showcased some of his stuff while I was covering the story, where he said Jimmy knew. No accountability, none.
Yeah.
The silence is deafening. It just keeps getting worse.
Wait,
Here's the truth, by the way.
wait. You're gonna say that Mudahar is just blindly gonna defend Jimmy now?
Yeah, Delaware's my brother-in-law. So yeah, at the end of the day, the brother-in-law in this situation is a true scumbag. Now, I don't know of any real situation where somebody is, somehow, actually innocent. There's been a false claim that's made. Why would you plead guilty and have that conviction added to your record?
Yeah. It also makes it doubly stupid because clearly when this happened, that Delaware guy is, obviously at the minimum like 30, probably 40, let's be completely real. So, 20 years ago, unless there's literally a mountain of evidence, you're not going to prison. Your life is probably not gonna get ruined because some random girl is just saying, "Oh, he did the big odd against me." Not happening. Nowadays, it gets treated a little bit more seriously, but well, a lot more seriously to be completely honest. But still, you're not taking a damn plea deal. There's no way, unless there's a lot of evidence.
Record. I've waited, a while to release this video as compared to some of my peers because I genuinely
Because you're a pussy.
did want to ask any lawyer, anybody, if there was a solid good reason. And from my understanding is, obviously, these two people were minors at the time, and maybe there was some,
So he's lying. He's lying. You know how I know that he's lying about this whole situation and lawyer shit? Because I wanted to consult a lawyer, and from my understanding, no. If you consult a lawyer about something, you're gonna say the lawyer said blah blah blah. You're gonna quote what he said, not say from my understanding. Okay? You're not doing that. So this whole thing is a lie, probably.
there might have been something that could have happened, maybe not enough to go to jail, but whatever conviction that you had to plead to, and the most disgusting
Either this is a blatant lie, which I think it honestly could easily be, or the lawyer, or I don't have no idea how the lawyer explained anything to Mudahar that he still needs to use the word and phrase from my understanding. If you're asking a lawyer about a situation, the lawyer is not gonna give you the fucking statute that you need to follow and interpret. He's gonna interpret it for you. That's what lawyers do.
conviction that we read here, enough to be put on the registry. And by the way, you know, this is not a conviction where you're put on the registry because you urinated in public and got caught, you know, sometime when you were 19, and 10 years later, you know, you explained that situation. No, the actual conviction we just read disgusts me to my core. Now, the thing about this whole story is, based on what
But Jimmy has no accountability for hiring this man because he said that he's cool.
Jake has effectively said, is had this been discussed, right? Like he said, he was hired before I was. Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue and explained to them everything. You are telling me that MrBeast and the people working for him decided to hear this person out.
Is he gonna say it? Is he gonna say it?
Sorry, you read a conviction like that, it's disgusting.
Is he gonna say it?
You're telling me you sit across somebody and you hear them out and you read their rap sheet? What did you have to hear to even consider hiring this person? Jimmy, MrBeast, is somebody that produces content that is aimed towards children. There is...
Okay. He kind of low-key, super lightly said that MrBeast made a mistake here. A very minor mistake, because again, he's downplaying absolutely everything here. Oh my god. I can't even believe that such a minor attack against MrBeast happened here. I am flabbergasted, boys.
In my opinion, no good response that you can give that could satiate anybody.
Yes, okay, here we go. In my opinion, there's nothing that he can say that should convince MrBeast. Let's ignore the fact that MrBeast accepted whatever he said. Let's ignore that part. But let's concentrate on the other guy, obviously.
This is not just disgusting and immoral. This is just shocking that somebody like MrBeast or anybody in the company would just hire somebody. And you know, you don't need...
Again, lowering the blame on MrBeast. Because MrBeast or anyone in the company, bruh, we already have proof and corroboration that MrBeast was the one that hired him because he talked to him and his mom. Okay? It doesn't get more in your face than that.
Suits or fancy HR guys or corporate individuals to tell you that this is a bad idea. This is just something that even if you were a gang of the most unprofessional...
Oh, this is just a bad idea. Don't worry about it.
People with the largest YouTube...
A minor problem, actually.
...channel at the time, or the largest growing channel, you would realize this is a hire that you probably should never make in a million years. And this may...
Oh yeah, this is just a small mistake, you know. You shouldn't have... Oh, it's so pathetic. Okay, I'm done. I am done, okay? I am done. The fact that you spun this story into... that you tried so hard to spin this story into, well, MrBeast still did nothing wrong is insane to me, okay? I'm out. Anyway, bye-bye.